Our guest again today is Senator Eugene McCarthy, and we're going to be talking a little politics, Gene. What do you think about all of this plagiarism that's been floating across the country lately?
Well, I'm a little bit offended that Biden didn't plagiarize anything from me. I mean, to be left off the list is to be, after the number who were included, is to be pretty well excluded.
And you write your own speeches.
Well, I think what he plagiarized was, I don't know who wrote the speech for the Englishman, it may have been his own, but as far as the domestic plagiarisms, I think they were all ghostwritten originally. And I don't think plagiarizing from a ghostwritten speech is morally as reprehensible as if you plagiarize from a straightaway, first-hand speech. I was going to make all kinds of distinctions. You know, there was an earlier question about, I think, jokes that were being told by Senator Gore, and either Congressman Udall, who has a reputation for being a humorist, or some of his supporters charged that Gore was plagiarizing jokes. Now, that's of a different order again. I think plagiarizing a joke is not a very serious matter, since most jokes are in the public domain after they've been told twice. So I think anybody can claim them. But I suppose the most serious thing in the Biden case was not just taking the language that he took and pieces of just straight speeches, but when he really took part of the life of Kinnock. I mean, it was more serious to take part of a man's life than part of a speech. And if you're going to try to make fine moral and historical distinctions, I think you would fault him more for that than for the other. I was reading a little bit about plagiarism the other day and found that actually they had a word very similar to it, which was used to identify what was called man-stealing, beyond kidnapping, but something of that order. And John Adams, in criticizing the British for their impressing of American sailors, charged them with an act that was of plagiarism, which he said in all civilized societies, man-stealing that was punishable properly, he thought, by death. That's maybe more than you wanted to hear about plagiarism, but anyway, that's sort of the general context in which I think it ought to be judged.